What's up, marketers? Today's episode is about the biggest mistakes I see people making on Facebook ads in 2020. Now, I've audited over 100 Facebook ad accounts in 2020 alone, everything from $1 million per month budgets to $1,000 per month budgets. And these problems are the things that I see over and over again. So I'm going to show you how to fix these issues so that you don't make the same mistakes. And no fluff, I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. Number one is bad creative or a lack of creative strategy. So something interesting to know is that every time I audit a Facebook ad account for the first time, I actually jump into ads library instead of the ad account so that I can get a sense of what the client is trying to communicate to their customers in terms of what their product or service is, as well as what their offer is. And I'm trying to gauge really how that's actually landing with their target audience. I'm also looking out for a diversity of creative strategies. So are they using UGC? Are they using review ads, benefit ads, and what kind of other video content are they using? Really, I just want to make sure that they're not just sticking to one strategy. I actually recently audited a Facebook ad account where 90% of all the creative was testimonial based, which is a great strategy, but it can't be the only one that they're relying on. This is actually a really big area of opportunity for them that we were able to help them out with when they came on board. Another big thing that I'm be looking at creative wise is to make sure they're using mobile first creative. And the biggest mistake I see when people are using mobile first creative, so they're doing all the right things, making sure that it's fit for to be viewed on a mobile device, making sure they're having their logo within the first 5 seconds, making sure it's not more than 15 to 20 seconds long, is that they're still using subtitles, because a lot of people are scrolling their mobile feeds without the sound on, and you want to make sure that the context and the message that you're trying to communicate is able to be understood without the sound on. Now, number 2 is actually the one that sticks out to other media buyers as the one they see the most, and that is a bad account structure. So the first thing that I actually look at when I get into the ad account is the number of campaigns they're running, and if they're segmenting between prospecting and retargeting. So for me, I tend to use the tofu, mofu, and bofu structure, and again, tofu is just short for top of funnel. That's your cold prospecting audiences, and then mofu, that's your middle of funnel audiences, those people like your social engagers and your website visitors, and bofu is for bottom of funnel. These are the people that have indicated a lot of interest in one product by visiting that product page multiple times or even adding it to cart. So when I'm doing a account audit, I'm actually looking out for that kind of structure. Now, it doesn't have to actually be named that, but I am going to be popping into each of those campaigns, seeing where they fit into in tofu, mofu, and bofu. One of the places that I see a lot of people making mistakes on is actually in retargeting. It's pretty common for me to find multiple retargeting campaigns that are retargeting the same people with the same ads, which is just a complete waste of ad spend. Again, this is why I tend to follow a tofu, mofu, and bofu structure, so I can be sure to have all these audiences in their right place in the funnel. And I also try to follow the Power 5 as much as possible, and I have a video all about that I'm going to link right here. Now, number 3 is using the wrong objective or optimization. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but one of the biggest problems that I see in Facebook ad accounts is people are using traffic campaigns or using link click optimizations. And that's actually the biggest signal to me that the person running that Facebook ad account is not a professional and doesn't understand Facebook ads. Because the reality is if you're actually trying to go after sales and ROAS, then you need to be using conversion campaigns that are optimizing for add to cart or purchase. There are very few ways around this. And number 4 is a lack of testing. Now, this is going to include everything from creative testing to audience testing, as well as testing out different bidding strategies and account structures. Because to be honest, a lack of testing in any regard is going to be a major cause for alarm. And a quick look through all the active campaigns is going to tell me pretty quickly whether or not they're routinely testing audiences and creative, which is really the 2 big focuses that you need to concentrate on testing. For me, I actually do like to have a testing campaign where I routinely try out new audiences, as well as a dynamic creative ad set where I am testing out different kinds of creative and messaging. I actually do prefer to just directly call this out with the word testing so that I can filter that out in my data when I'm doing reporting. And number 5 is careless mistakes. So this could be anything from the wrong URL to copy errors to weird formatting on the visual creative. And a big one that I always see here too is combining retargeting and prospecting audiences in one ad set. So maybe they created a lookalike audience of add to carters, but then they just kept that add to cart audience in the same ad set. It's one of my big irks, but I tend to see it a lot. And the reality is this is way more common than you might think, these dumb, stupid mistakes, and is often the cause of big issues that are going on in the account, which is why I double check myself solely for the dumb, stupid mistakes. And that's it. Maybe you are making one of these mistakes now in your ad campaigns, and that's totally fine. We all start off as beginners somewhere. That's why it's so important that we continue to learn as much as possible. And for each of these 5 points that I listed, I actually have a video for each one that I'm going to be listing in the description below that can show you how to correct these things. And if you are a professional media buyer yourself, I'm sure that you have audited tons of ad accounts. I would love to hear about the mistake that you see the most often, or if there was one that I missed out on. As always, I'm super active in the comments section or on Twitter, so be sure to @ me there and let's continue the conversation. Okay guys, see you next week. Bye.